What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel for another episode of this Evo build. The next logical step for the Evo is going to be finishing up disassembling that turbo back there, getting it clean, and getting that and the exhaust manifold back into the car. So let's jump on that. So if you do remember from the last episode, we did go through and kind of superficially clean this turbo. I have cleaned up in here and then in the outlet, but honestly there is still some residue in the compressor housing that I do want to take care of. So we are going to go ahead and remove this V-band, take the turbine hot side off, remove that, clean that up, and then take this compressor housing off and clean up the inside of there. So let's jump back on that. But before I do jump on doing that, I do want to give a quick shout out to my boy Jay Kiley. He did come in the comments of the last video and kind of give me a heads up on how to take apart the turbo as far as the compressor housing and the turbine side. Big shout out to him. Honestly, I don't know everything, which is fine. Not everyone does know everything. Everyone has to start somewhere. And thank you for you guys for being out there in the comment section, not being jerks about it, and coming through with some actual knowledge. With that though, back to this turbo. Okay, so we already do have the two coolant lines removed. If you didn't have them removed, there is a return and a feed line for the coolant. It's banjo bolts. Just gotta take those guys out, remove the crush washers. We're gonna go through and take this guy right here, which is the oil feed off, take the wastegate arm off, and then we can go ahead and take the V-band and start trying to crack this thing open. So let's jump on that, probably throw in a time lapse, and see you on the other side. Okay, so I did hear in like a prior video that I had watched about this that apparently this thing could be like a 9.5, but most people do a 10. It looks like it is a 10. Okay, as you can see, we have the V-band off, so that's what's really just keeping this guy together. So we can try to remove it by hand. Hopefully we'll be able to just take the compressor housing and the actual cartridge right out. If not, we might have to give it a couple of love taps with like a mallet. But it's looking like it might not want to separate easily. So I will go ahead and just kind of try to give it some love taps. So I don't really want to use like a metal one. I don't want to be too hard with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and use like the rubber sides of these guys and see what happens. It's starting to separate, good sign. Man, try to maybe get some penetrant in there, see if they can loosen it up a little bit. All right, got some penetrant in there. Probably let that sit for a minute, let it kind of do its thing. Okay, it's been sitting. Hopefully the PB blaster is going to do its job. Oh, I see movement. All right, got that guy off. Okay, so it wasn't too bad. Obviously, it did need a little bit of persuasion. I just threw some PB blaster in there, and I probably let it sit for like, I don't know, 3 minutes, and it honestly loosened it right out for me. So we can take a look. It's not too bad. Obviously, it's a little crusty. I am gonna run through the wire wheel, see if I can get any of this loose stuff off. I kind of already have taken a bunch of loose stuff off, but I do want to just try to clean up a little bit more. So probably throw it on a time lapse and just try to get clean in this guy. Okay, so after a whole lot of cleaning and a lot more off-camera cleaning, I did get the hot side of the turbo looking pretty good. Take a look. So obviously it's not like brand new, but it's certainly not like the rusty color that it was before. I went through all around here. Didn't really get too much in here. Pretty much everywhere else I kind of just like took it back down to like a bare metal type thing instead of like rusty oxidized. I did go through here on the cartridge and just use like a wire brush, like by hand, to just kind of clean up any loose stuff that was on here, so when it remates with the hot side, it'll seat nicely. So now what I am going to do is take these banjo bolts out that I had in just to stop anything from going into the galleys, and I have to go ahead and take this snap ring out. So let's go ahead and jump on that. So on the compressor housing side, there is a snap ring in here. You can see there's the 2 little divots. So these will make it easier if you do have them snap ring pliers. Otherwise, you could try to use needle nose, but these certainly do make it easier. Man, this thing is like really in there. Okay, so I ended up actually getting with the needle nose. Well, okay, there we go. Now it's in, or out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of give it a quick little brush out here, so hopefully nothing gets anywhere it's not supposed to go. Dump it over, try to get all that crap out. Now, I had seen before that it does seem to take a little bit of effort to try to remove the cartridge from the compressor housing, so I think I am gonna have to love tap it a little bit, throw it on a time lapse to see if we can get it out. So I did throw it on a time lapse. It took like literally one blow with the rubber hammer to get it off, and I didn't even hit it that hard. So it really isn't a big deal. I can't really show the time lapse because it wasn't long enough, but this is what we're dealing with now. It came off pretty easy, and honestly, pretty surprised that the inside, it's so hard to show on camera. It's not that dirty though. Like there's certainly some oil residue, but I kind of figured, like, from the way the outlet on the turbo looks, like I thought it was gonna be really, really bad in there. So I'm probably just gonna go ahead and try to figure out a way to get in there and clean it up a little bit. But otherwise, it's probably already pretty good to go back together once I give it a little polish. Okay, after all that, I ended up finally getting it cleaned. What I did end up doing for a lot of the spots in the back, so this section is really easy to get. Once you start getting back into here, it starts getting a little harder to try to clean in there. So what I really did was I grabbed some intake valve and turbo cleaner, sprayed a little in there, and then I used this pick. I didn't really scrape with the edge. I kind of really used more of like the back rounded part and kind of just like agitated it very gently. Because obviously I don't want to score in there. But I'm definitely gonna show you guys so you can see it's starting to look a whole lot cleaner in there. That intake valve and turbo cleaner really did the job. So now I definitely know, like 100%, there's no oil residue or blow by in the compressor housing that will be going into the motor once the turbo's back in. So now that it's finally clean, I guess I'll just start reassembling it and probably give it a quick polish first, the compressor housing, while I have it off. And then I'll start reassembling. Okay, so I got that cleaned up and it's looking a lot better now, getting ready to be able to reassemble it. But I did notice, once I picked the cartridge up again, that right here, it does look like there might be like some chips in the compressor wheel. I don't know if that's like a notch that maybe is there for like alignment. It kind of doesn't look like it, but I guess if you guys know in the comments. Okay, so we are ready to go ahead and start reassembling this. As the homies mentioned down in the comments of the last video, if you do look, there is a pin here. It's like a dowel. So it is used for alignment, so you can't align it in the improper orientation. So there's a notch right here in the compressor side. So you kind of just have to stick this guy in and line that guy up with the pin until it slides in nicely, which just did. You can kind of hear it like click into place. It's a super satisfying sound. But now that we have that in, we got the task of trying to get this guy back in. So this part is actually where the snap ring pliers are going to come into play. So it is obviously a little tough. to get it down, slide it into place, and then I think it's gonna be pretty hard for me to get the pliers out because they're so far in, but we'll try. I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably gonna be the hardest part of putting it back together, since the rest of it's honestly pretty straightforward. I almost wish I could grab it with the needle nose. So I did get it like halfway in, but this guy is now stuck because it came out of my pliers. So I guess I'm gonna try, I don't really know. I guess now I can just try to use the needle nose pliers for the best of my ability. Could just try to like tap it in. All right, it is in. I kind of just, and you can just hear it just clicked. It got most of the way in, and then I kind of just used this guy to like push it into place. So it is secure now. Obviously, I could use YouTube magic and I could edit all this crap out and be like, oh, I did it, it was easy. But honestly, people like to see people struggle, especially when it's a small channel. So enjoy it, right? But with that, go ahead, get that hot side back on, throw on the V-band, and be on our way with the turbo. So the only problem that we have run into here is that this is a pinned setup, so it has like alignment dowels so that you can't put it in the wrong orientation. Only problem with this side of the turbo is, if you look here, right there, you can see that's one half of the pin, and then over here, you see that's the other half of the pin. So at some point in this turbo's life, it seems like it did break off somehow. So what I am gonna do is, I'm gonna go ahead and try, you could just try to throw it on, see and hope maybe it's all set, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a paint marker and mark on the sides where they meet so that I can just try to align those two markings and then hopefully put it back together. I'm sure I'll find out in the comments if anyone makes it this far in the video, if that is gonna be okay or not, but here's to hoping that it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I got the turbo back on. It is pretty much seated. I think I got the dowels to be pretty much exactly where they should be. It's obviously not perfect. I was tightening the V-band bolt and the tensile strength of it failed on me, so the head broke off. So I have to get a new one of these. I am trying to find just a bolt and a nut to put through it just to keep it secure for now, and then I'll replace it in the future. But with that, keep on moving. Okay, so I did go ahead and keep re-inspecting the turbo. I did find some new stuff that's honestly really not the best news in the world, but it's an important thing to find now, and I'm glad that I found it now rather than later once the car's running. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it is. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bit stupid. Don't really know how I didn't realize it when I was taking it apart and cleaning everything, but this right here, obviously the turbine for the hot side of the turbo. This guy right here is the seal plate. There's an inner C-clip, I believe it's a C-clip, that keeps this guy in place, and this keeps exhaust gases from escaping from the actual hot side of the turbo. This guy, it spins freely. Like that's not good. That's not what you want. There's a lot of play in it. So ultimately, I haven't really seen too much scoring, but you can see there is like a little bit, and these fins, they don't look super duper nice. So it's not what I wanted to see. Unfortunately, it looks like if I am going to run this turbo, I very likely will have to replace the whole center housing rotating assembly. So it's obviously not the news I wanted to see, but if I am going to run this turbo, obviously I can't run it with something like this going. And I did realize that after on the compressor side, let me put the camera down real quick and I'll show you. So if you do look on the compressor housing side, when I had checked it before, I went in and out. There really is no shaft play at all, but if you do go side to side, there is just a tiny bit of play. It's really not like a ton, but if I do push it to the one way and then spin the shaft, you can kind of hear it scraping on the inside of this guy right here, which obviously is not at all ideal. So ultimately, unfortunately, it is looking like with this turbo, I would have to get a new CHRA. It's basically the whole center section. Like I said in the comments, and I think in a past video too, it is balanced, so it's not like you can just like throw them together and then hope for the best or replace it. So I did go ahead quickly and look. It looks like the cheapest I'll be able to find is maybe around like $250, and then if there's a couple of websites that like specialize in doing the cartridges for these, and I think it was around like $420. Haha, I know, right? So it's honestly a little bit out of the budget right now, and honestly, if I am gonna go ahead and be spending $400 on a turbo, like at that point, why wouldn't I either like upgrade to a used turbo that's bigger, that's in better condition and is possibly newer, or just get a whole brand new turbo anyway. I'm not shooting for big power, so I don't really want to go the route of like an FP Black or anything, because I wouldn't have the fueling for it anyway. But it's kind of where I'm at. Sorry to waste anybody's time. I feel like I wasted a lot of time because I spent so much time cleaning this turbo. Like it's so nice looking now, and honestly, it's pretty much for nothing. If anyone in the comments down below does see anything that maybe I'm wrong about, maybe this center cartridge isn't actually dead, let me know. But with that, I guess that's pretty much all I have. I do have some stuff coming in the mail that I had ordered, more silicone vacuum line, the smaller sizes I needed. I got the new injector connector, new coolant temp sensor connector, a couple of other random things, crush washers for the banjo bolts, but keeping it moving forward. That's all you can do, little baby steps at a time. Again, this obviously the turbocharger is a setback, but it is what it is. And I guess, what do you guys think I should do? Other than leaving a comment, if you know about anything that I maybe was wrong about, leave a comment down below. Would you rebuild the turbo and just change out the center housing on this guy? Or would you just upgrade to a new turbo or a bigger used turbo? Because honestly, those are at this point my options, because I do want to get the car finished, but just not sure exactly what I want to do. But anyway, again, with that, that's all I got for this one. So if you guys do like the content, go ahead, please like, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, I guess, let me know what you think about turbos. So peace out and keep wrenching. Later.